Welcome everybody to the War and Peace Baseball Podcast. I'm here today with Alex Rudy and Farbode Markazi. I'm Alex Uwe. How are you guys doing today? It's been a while since we last got together.
I'm doing pretty good.
Outstanding. How are you?
I'm doing well. I am ready to get going and talk about some baseball.
We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about that's happened in these last 2 weeks. None more important than Ichiro's 3,000th hit, which he got earlier this week, and it was his third. He's the 30th player to reach 3,000 hits, and he did it with a triple. So that is a fun little thing right there. Thoughts on Ichiro's career in general? I don't know.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Rudy.
Okay. I think there's three main takeaways, huge takeaways from what Ichiro has contributed. I think one, first of all, he's arguably the greatest international baseball player of all time, and that can't be taken lightly. He has just so many records, and he didn't even play his whole career in the United States. And you really can go on and on about just his, playing credentials, even ignoring the 3,002 hits, just, the 7 All-Stars, the 7 Golden Gloves, the 10 All-Stars, those are the Japanese stats. The 10 All-Stars, the 7-time AL hits leader, the 3 Fielding Bible Awards, the 3 Silver Slugging Awards, the 2 batting champion awards, the stolen base leading, winning the MVP and the Rookie of the Year in the same season, 262 hits in a single season, the MLB record, singles in a season, 225, 10 consecutive 200-hit seasons, where he also hit 300-plus in each season, 4,280 hits combined between the MLB and the NPB, 2 fucking World Baseball Classic gold medals, excluding a World Series. He's done it all, and apparently he could have hit 40 home runs a year if he wanted to. He is simply one of the greatest baseball players of all time. But
he's not only one of the greatest baseball players; he's one of the greatest baseball people. You say everything he's done on the field. He's also done for the game. He's done for the fans, for everyone. He's a role model.
What I was getting to exactly was that you could argue what he's contributed is more not even on the field, but off it to the game. Being a player who didn't come through the minor leagues or through a major leagues team or college baseball or from the Dominican Republic, even from the Japanese league. He's the first guy, not the first guy to come from there, but the first superstar, international player who had played the majority of, or at least a good chunk of their career already in another baseball league. And moreover, there's really few athletes, let alone baseball players, who respect sports or just as good of sportsmanship people as Ichiro.
He's very humble.
And very humble. He visits the Hall of Fame regularly to pay his respects, and donated his 3,000 hit year to the Hall of Fame. He's also a very funny guy, great sense of humor, just all around great human being who made the game and maybe even the world a better place. And I just hope he never retires. It's not a year of retirements. You have, Big Papi going out better than ever on his retirement tour. Prince Fielder had to retire almost immediately, during his prime, essentially. He's one of the most durable players ever. Just was done. Arod, this whole mess. I'm sure we'll talk about all those later. And then, Ichiro, who's just saying, I'm not going to retire, I'm just going to keep playing. And that's the best kind of retirement, I think.
Oh yeah, he has so much respect for the game, and the way he treats it so professionally, the way he maintains his body.
He preps every season. Yeah.
Yeah, he has that sense of professionalism, like, my body is the most important thing for me to become an athlete, and he is, people joke about how he's constantly stretching. That is part of the reason why he is, still one of the best athletes at his age. And
able to play at the high level that he is.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you guys have said. By the way, I will say that is a few more than 3 major takeaways. There's, if you
can't only say 3.
If you
three
include every statistic as a major takeaway, that is probably close to 40 major takeaways. So, yeah, incredible career, and it's still going. Let's talk about some careers that are going to end, though. As Rudy alluded to earlier, we'll talk about the shit show that is Alex Rodriguez.
Wow.
Not censoring that at all, because that's what it is.
Yeah, you guys are Yankee fans.
So, just a small bit of context before we dive right in. He announced that he will be retiring from the game, effective today. Actually, today is his last game as a New York Yankee, and he will move to a special advisor role through the end of his contract. He'll still get everything that he is, everything's promised in the contract. And the Yankees basically said, we are going to release you unless we can work out some kind of deal like they did in this manner with the special advisor role. And it's basically the Yankees telling Arod, you are not fit to play for us anymore. Sorry, we know we owe you a lot of money, and we just can't put you on the field. We need to play our young players, give them the at-bats they deserve. And that is basically all that has been said, and he seems to be taking it pretty graciously. Do you guys have any additional thoughts on how this all went down?
Yeah.
I'll let Rudy talk.
I was very, obviously me and you, we were Yankees fans, so we maybe have a different attachment, not even attachment, but perspective on A-Rod than the average fan. And I've never really been a fan of him. I've never embraced him. He's never been, but the fact of the matter is, this guy, for whatever you think about his steroid use and his moral actions in his life, he is a top 5 baseball player of all time. He has 696 home runs, 3,000 hits, like 400 steals. He had an incredible career, and you can go on and on about credentials.
Yeah, we already did that with Ichiro, so I think
Ichiro is a lot, A-Rod's different level. But, and I know he's been one of the worst, probably one of the worst 15 position players in the league this year, there's no doubt. But to make him essentially retire in a week and give him only 2 games to play and end his career, this guy won a World Series for the Yankees. He won them a World Series. He was incredible that playoffs too, and I think there's more to it behind closed doors than meets the eye, based on how they're treating him. But I think, as much as I love Joe Girardi and Brian Cashman, I think they've done an amazing job with the Yankees during their tenures. I think it's incredibly disrespectful how they're treating him, regardless of, it's just there's so many other ways they could have done this. I think it's just not well handled at all.
Mm-hmm. And I think there has to be something to be said for his the way he's perceived as a person. He is not a well-respected person. That is no secret. Very different than the circumstances surrounding Derek Jeter when he retired. He was one of the worst players in the league, and he played an entire season at shortstop. And Alex Rodriguez is definitely a much better baseball player in that time span, but has he earned the kind of respect and admiration that comes along with a retirement tour, even if it is the final week that he plays, benching him for most of that? I don't think he has. I don't think he's earned the same level of admiration that Derek Jeter has, and I don't think that's a real issue for Girardi and Cashman to deal with this in such a way. They gave him a chance. They gave him his last day, which is today. But he's really not fit to be a baseball player at this point, and that is just the reality of it. And he does not have the the intangibles that Derek Jeter did to deserve a full-on retirement season, and that's just how it is. You wish every player could have a nice retirement season and go out on top of their game, which is just very, very hard to do. David Ortiz is doing it so far, and hopefully he can finish up the season as strong as he started it.
But can I just disagree with you a little bit?
Yeah, you can. You can disagree with anything.
The hatred that he gets, I think, is incredibly overly done.
It is overly done, but it's there.
I don't think he should be beloved because he cheated, and that's one of the worst things you can do in sports. But at the same time, he's never hurt a person. It's not like he's hurt people. I mean, Aroldis Chapman and Jose Reyes beat their significant others. Yet, I think Arod gets more, despicable treatment than them.
I don't think it's about comparing him to other despicable people. I think it's just the fact that the hatred towards Arod is there, and he has done his part to earn a lot of that. But the media has done his part to amplify it.
His suspensions, he has accepted the consequences. I think publicly the guy is not. He's just not a malicious person, in my opinion.
Well, you say he accepted it, but he sued the shit out of the MLB for like half of that suspension.
Well, what did he go through? He eventually dropped it, though.
Yes, that was a big turning point. But the hatred is there towards a guy like Alex Rodriguez.
It's not. I don't think it's unreasonable to dislike him, but I think
you have to acknowledge what he's done.
But the extreme level to which people despise him and scapegoat him for all the things they hate about baseball and the lack of respect that he gets for what he accomplished, I think is unfair. I mean, the guy is. I just think it's unreasonable that what people. I think he's just treated as someone to just shit on because he's an easy target, and I think I don't think he ever did anything so horrible that he kind of deserves to be treated like the Hitler of baseball when he's just not. He didn't do that horrible of things. And to deserve that level of treatment.
Well, that's New York for you.
Yeah.
So, last quick, do you have a problem with the way Girardi has been playing Arod in the last week? Because I don't personally, but I know a lot of people do.
I think he should have played more than two.
I
don't really blame him for not letting him play third, considering he hasn't played third in 2 years. So it's not the most insane thing. But the fact of the matter is, he's clearly aren't trying to compete for the rest of the season. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is.
There's a difference between not going out and getting the top level talent for the stretch of the season, but to say they're not competing is completely.
Yeah, they're four out of the wild card right now.
They are in the race. No, you said they're not competing. That's what you said.
No,
and they are.
I said they're not trying to make the playoffs.
Well, the fact is they are. They're in striking distance. They have a team near the New York Yankees. They have.
If they were way out, Arod would have been playing a lot more.
On purpose doesn't mean the playoffs are your goal. There's a gigantic difference between those two things. Their goal this season is not playoffs, and if you think that is their goal, then you haven't been paying attention.
They understand where they are, but the fact is where they are is in striking distance, and the team, a New York team that has a lot of promising elements right now, is able to make, and they realize they're in a position to make a push, and that they decided not to go about doing that by acquiring big talent like they normally do. And that is the weird thing.
Brian Cashman went on a podcast earlier this week where he literally told the interviewer that they're rebuilding this year and that the playoffs are not their goal. So that's just not true. They just put Brian McCann on waivers, which he passed through. So I assume he'll be traded in the upcoming weeks. Their goal is not just because you're not trying to intentionally lose and tank does not mean that you're trying to make it to the playoffs. The playoffs aren't irrelevant to the team's goals this year. Their goal is just to develop the guys and that are young and give them as much playing time as they can get.
All right, I guess we have differing views on the competitive nature of I guess our favorite team, but we are kind of straying from the subject. The point is, Arod is done after today, and he is getting his day. He's getting his I guess, sort of pregame tribute thing. But that'll be it for him. He'll move to a special advisor role. Let's talk about another Yankee that's retiring, Mark Teixeira. Very briefly, he announced his retirement at the end of the season, and for no reasons other than the injuries have just been too much for him, and he has to call it quits. That is as simple as that. I'm kind of glad that he's able to make this final push in this season, though. I'm glad he didn't end it with a career-ending injury. But it's been a rough couple years for him, certainly. Last year was a very good year, but the last 3 years altogether, not so much. Any final thoughts on Teixeira before we move on? It's kind of like he's dying. It's really not, but it kind of is.
Hall of very good player.
Hall of very good. That's fair. Farbode, any comments about him in his half season on the Angels or whatever that was?
I agree. Hall of very good.
All right. Same with Prince Fielder. I think no question about that. He is also he's been declared medically ineligible because of his herniated disc, he's had the same neck surgery that he had that put him out for the season 2 years ago, and he's had that again, and it is just very difficult to see the swift decline of Prince Fielder due to injuries. You mentioned it earlier, one of the most durable players in the game for a good stretch of time.
Before 2014, didn't he have a most active game streak that active players, he had the most games in a row
that sounds right. Yeah, because he definitely had multiple 162 game seasons, and that is really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's sad, and I think it's fair to say that the Tigers won that trade. That's one thing to take away. Wow. But yeah, so just really quick in the context of the Rangers now have a DH slot that is very flexible on a very crowded roster. So you could see guys like Mitch Moreland sliding over there occasionally and having Profar play first. You can basically see a lot more of Jerks and Profar all over the field with that flexible DH spot that they have there. The Rangers are certainly not struggling with this because they are definitely making the playoff push. They are definitely competing for the playoffs. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about the Rangers a little bit more in their activity during the trade deadline. So, for one thing, they...
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. There was some sort of issue. Yeah, that's because nobody has been talking.
Yeah.
There was some kind of audio issue. We are gonna roll right through this though. Let's talk about the Rangers a little bit. They acquired Jonathan Lucroy and Carlos Beltran on the final day of the trade deadline, and they look like a very revamped, powerful offense right now. They just won a 4-game series against the Rockies. Took 3 of 4. 3 of them comeback victories in a row. So they look like they're in as good a shape as ever, and we'll be seeing a lot more of them down the stretch. The Astros really not so much. They have not looked like themselves recently. Their pitching has kind of taken another slide. Do you guys have any thoughts on the AL West?
No, I don't want to talk about the AL West. The Rangers are just really, really good now.
That's great analysis.
Yes.
All right.
That's all. That's all you need to say. They have good offense. Their pitching's good.
Good. All right. I think that's enough analysis on the Rangers then.
Yeah.
That's what we got. Then let's talk about a team that's really, really struggling since the trade deadline. Even though they acquired Jay Bruce, and that is the Mets. They tried to add a bat, and their offense is still one of the worst in all of baseball right now. It is really ugly, the lineups they're rolling out there with Cespedes hurt, and Michael Conforto has really not played to his potential. He's really been struggling, and partially because they've been screwing with where and how they've been playing him so much this year. It's really...
Did you guys see how easily they're being run on right now?
Oh yeah, and their catching situation's horrible.
Their catching situation's horrible. I mean, the pitcher stole a base against them yesterday.
And they weren't holding him on, so that's not the major concern of mine.
But the pitcher still stole a base. Slid in head first against
there's no
the
throw.
New York Mets.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them right now. The lineups they're rolling out there are, as I mentioned, among the worst in baseball, which is what we were saying about them about a year and a half ago at this point. So I don't know what their plan is down the stretch. They are going to have to do some serious work to make the wild card game even, which is not something a lot of us were saying looking at their pitching staff going into the season. It's just one of those seasons that completely fell apart, and we have to see if they have a final push left in them, but they do not have Yoenis Cespedes in September like they did last year. He was an absolute monster for them. Let's talk about a team that really has had some injury troubles, but is still managing to push right on through, and that's the Dodgers, who are missing their ace. They went out and acquired Josh Reddick and Rich Hill from the Oakland Athletics, and Rich Hill is still yet to make a start for them. He is one of the weird he's been out for like a month with a blister. That's something that you don't see every day. But the Dodgers just keep winning. They're keeping pace with the Giants, who have been really cold, and when they have Kershaw back, they have a serious chance to make a push for that division, which seemed out of reach altogether at the All-Star break. Any thoughts on the NL West? It's a less touchy subject for you.
I wasn't aware of, did you guys know when and if Kershaw is coming back? I haven't seen.
So Kershaw has resumed throwing, but not much more than that. The major setback that he had was on his rehab assignment, I believe, and he had to shut it down completely, had to take another 2 weeks, and he just recently began throwing again. It's a really weird injury that he's working with. It's really a lot of touch and go. It's about how he feels, basically. It's about discomfort. There's no clear-cut way to deal with it. It's about rest, and it's about tolerance, I guess. If he feels like he can pitch through it, which he did for a long time, I'm sure he's going to. But it got to a point where he just could not do that anymore. What do you think the over/under is based on that information? On, let's say, 5 starts the rest of the season. There's 2 months left. Because he does not seem close. He has made progress, but he does not seem close. Do you think he makes 5 more starts this year?
I don't think he makes 5. 5 more starts is basically a month. I don't think he's going to pitch.
What? 5 starts is not a month.
Well, you pitch every 5 days, 25 days, and then taking off days.
Okay, let's say he comes back. If he gets back mid-September, he could potentially get that. Early to mid-September. So, that's the thing.
I think it's more.
So I don't know.
On the 3 to 5 spot than anywhere 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
More so.
And I think that this is a little bit irrelevant at this point. There's a lot of speculation. The point is, the Dodgers are good still, even without Kershaw.
But they're good. Right? They're good. They're good. What's it called? Regular season team. They're not going to go anywhere if Kershaw doesn't come back and beat Kershaw for the playoffs.
Hey, you never know. Getting there is half the battle. Yeah, we seem to have lost Alex Rudy again, by the way. I don't know how that keeps happening, but
give him a map.
It's not good. Yeah, I know, seriously. Yeah, it's really strange. We've had our fair share of issues today on this one. In the meantime, we might as well talk a few more things that have happened recently. Let's talk about some demotions. That's a happy subject. And staying on the topic of the Dodgers, maybe the reason they've been so good is because they demoted Yasiel Puig to AAA. And, he seems to be handling that okay, considering his circumstance of, sucking at the major league level. Yeah. It's no secret that Yasiel Puig needs more development. That's as simple as that. Same can be said for Byron Buxton of the Twins, who's had an atrocious beginning to his major league career. Hopefully not.
You love this man.
He is just as much athletic ability as anybody in the game. You could say the same for Puig, really. Both very similar. At least Puig had that flash of greatness early in his career. But Buxton has just not been able to put it together. Demoted yet again.
Do you think Puig can return to being Puig?
returning to what Puig wasn't even that good, all things considered. If you're thinking of what he did for that 1 month stretch, in like 2014, I doubt it. But I think he can be a productive player. I think that's not out of the question. Byron Buxton is another thing though altogether. I've never seen somebody with so much success at AAA that can't put it together in the majors.
He's a quadruple A player right now.
They've given him every opportunity to succeed, and it has not happened yet.
If there was a quadruple A, it'd be him.
He is the quadruple A. That's fair. Right now, that's a fair thing to say. Taijuan Walker also demoted. I think part of that has to do with the status of his injury. His toe has been bothering him. I think they just don't see any value in having him pitch at the major league level with that level of discomfort, but I don't think it was quite enough for a DL stint. I'm sure it's something along those lines, because Walker was not having a demotion-worthy season up to this point. A couple fun designated for assignment recently, too. One of them with your team, Tim Lincecum, who...
He is atrocious.
I think 99.99% of people saw this coming.
And
I think 50% of the people are surprised it took this long. And he gone. So
no, I'm not surprised it took this. Because think about the pitchers the Angels would have.
Okay, that's fair. The Angels are so bad that they had to wait 2 months to DFA Tim Lincecum. That's fair.
He has a 9.16 ERA.
Yeah, he's done.
In 38 and a third innings pitched, he's given up 68 hits and 41 runs.
We've been talking about retirements a lot. I think Tim Lincecum is going to be forced into that very soon.
Yeah.
And the other being Carlos Gomez, who was DFA'd by the Astros, having a horrendous season.
The Brewers won that deal.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Man, that is, one of the... He was a top fantasy player only 2 or 3 years ago. He was a top player. And now, just nothing. Not stealing bases, not hitting for power, not hitting for average. Literally doing nothing. And now he's literally designated for assignment. Some other team will probably pick him up, or trade for him back half of this season. Still unable to find our Alex Rudy, which is a little bit unfortunate, but especially because he was supposed to lead Stat Game, which we will
find my iPhone.
We will we'll send the search party out after this podcast. How about that? Sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit happier now, though, with some of the recent promotions to the major leagues. It is that time of year where a lot of prospects are making their way up and making major impacts right away. One of those, probably the biggest impact, has been David Dahl of the Rockies, who has started his career off with a 17-game hitting streak.
He's on the verge of history.
I think he's tied or passed the franchise record, and he is only a few away from the historical mark in hitting streak to begin a career. And he has looked really good at the plate. Coors Field aside, he's been hitting for power. He's been driving the ball, hitting for average, obviously. He's a really well-rounded player at this point. He has had really good development in the minor leagues. Hopefully that can continue going forward. A couple other big prospects that were drafted only a year ago that are making their debuts and making their first run at the big leagues. That's Alex Bregman and Andrew Benintendi. These guys are just flat-out hitters. They've raced their way through the minor leagues, and they are up with the big league with their big league clubs, and they are making impacts right away. Bregman is probably going to end up playing every day, especially since Gomez is gone. And
I think he's back.
I think he had a rough start to his career, and he is just, he's been able to, stay afloat. He's just athletic enough to stay on the field, and I think he's going to hit because he has hit at every level of his career, and one of the purest minor league hitters available. Same with Benintendi, who has already been basically confirmed to be their everyday left fielder. They started out and saying he's going to face right-handers for the most part, and then they said, yeah, he looks comfortable out there, he looks really good, we are pretty much going to play him every day. So they have added quite a bat from their minor league system. That was quite a mouthful right there. Let's go and talk about a few pitchers, though, one of which is somebody that I believe you can provide a little bit of insight on, and that's Tyler Skaggs, who's had a really nice return to the major leagues after his injury Um,
He
go for it.
in like when he got hurt, he had a no hitter going, so I was really sad that he had to get taken out of the game. And then he was out for a year and a half, and then he kept having a bunch of problems with his shoulder and shit. So it's kind of scary.
Hello,
Hi,
welcome back. We found you.
Oh,
Hello.
We've moved quite a ways forward.
Hello.
yeah.
Stop saying hello.
Hello.
Stop.
God damn it. All right. Continue.
He Rudy.
I can't tell if he's serious.
Okay. What's it called? He was on. I think he's gone again. He was on the comeback at the beginning of this year, and he had a bunch of setbacks because of his shoulder, and then he finally got called up through a gem against Kansas City, through another good game against the Red Sox. Right now I'm excited for him, except not this year. Wait till 2018, because
Quite a timetable.
we need Haney back too.
Jeez, your pitching staff's a mess. That's depressing. Let's move on. Let's talk about
It's
Alex
really sad.
Reyes, who is the top prospect in the Cardinals organization, and he is really good. He is an electric right-handed pitcher, pitching out of the bullpen right now, but who knows if he's going to end up getting any starts the rest of this season. Obviously, pitch counts and arm control are big things with young pitchers right now, but he looks really good. He's pitched out of the bullpen. That could be an arm that the Cardinals really could use since Rosenthal is out. So look for him to make a big impact. Also, Joe Musgrove of the Astros is definitely going to make a big impact. He is in their starting rotation now. Taking over for Lance McCullers, who has hit the DL. Musgrove looks really good. He has given up one earned run in his first 14 innings, and he looked really sharp in his first start. He had one also really long relief outing where he struck out 8 batters in 4 innings. This guy, excellent command, excellent poise on the mound. He's a very developed minor league pitcher. And I think he is as ready as any young pitcher in the majors to have a lot of success, really. Even though he was never one of the top prospects in all of baseball, certainly looks to be a major league ready player that can contribute at the high level. A couple more position players that are exciting that I'll mention really quick are Orlando Arcia of the Brewers, top prospect there, top shortstop prospect. The only major impact right now that has been made is the way they've shifted around the field, making Jonathan Villar, who's having an outstanding season, a third baseman, and Hernan Perez, who was their third baseman before, also having a fantastic season, is now in their outfield. So yeah, the Brewers really do have a lot of really good players in the mix there. Do you have any thoughts on the Brewers, or not really?
They've done a great job, a great quiet job at rebuilding. That's it.
It's been quiet, but it's been very effective so far. They've got a lot in their minor league system too. They did a good job at the trade deadline.
Is it going to be
traded away
Brewers
Lucroy,
Yankees?
So
Is it going to be Brewers Yankees World Series in 2021?
well, we'll see what happens.
Well, the Braves are going to be in there too.
There's so many teams that you could say about that at this point. So much is going to change, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
By that time too. Speaking of the Yankees, Gary Sanchez, the top catching prospect, is finally up with a regular role for the big club. He's looked good so far, and especially defensively. He's one of the top defensive catchers already in the game. I'm convinced of that. And the bat should be there. He has made major strides hitting wise in the last year and a half. So look for good things there. So we will rush into I'll break down a few more things that have happened in the last couple weeks related to injuries. I will kind of run through these. If you have anything to say about any of these guys in particular, go ahead and stop me, but I will go ahead and list them off. So Trevor Story is the biggest one that has happened in the last couple weeks. Broke his thumb.
Yeah, my fantasy team.
He broke your fantasy team. Wow. He is out for the season. That is really tragic on a almost certain NL Rookie of the Year run. Corey Seager's there too, and he's unbelievable as well. But Trevor Story was on pace for 40-plus homers. and he looked like he was in good shape to do it. And
Would you take Trevor Story over Corey Seager in NL Rookie of the Year?
If he kept his pace up, you kind of have to.
Corey Seager's 308 with 25 homers and 71 RBIs.
I mean, if Trevor Story hit 40-plus homers, I think you got to give it to him anyway.
That's fair. Yeah.
He's a really athletic guy, too. Great defense and can steal a base. Aledmus Diaz is another guy who's been in this conversation for a long time, is also on the DL right now. His timetable is a little bit more unclear, but he also will be missing time. Johnny Peralta back for the Cardinals, not a big deal, though. Jose Bautista is on the DL again. He was only back for a very short amount of time before having to go back on the DL. I guess that means Melvin Upton's going to be playing more. Jeez, that's rough because Kevin Pillar is also injured. Blue Jays outfield is not looking good right now, but the Blue Jays as a team are looking really good. They have former MVP still leading the way for them. Yeah, any thoughts on the Blue Jays going forward?
No,
because that's a really big bat that they're missing there. People forget exactly how good Jose Bautista is. I think if you want to buy low on Jose Bautista,
they're going to win the division
in a dynasty league. If you want to buy low on Jose Bautista, or in a yearly league,
sorry.
Actually, what? Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm looking at the standings. I mean, they have a half a game lead on the Orioles right now. They're looking great. They're doing good. The Orioles are a good team. I still don't trust the Orioles pitching. So
no,
I mean,
you can't trust their pitching.
Yeah, no, but the last week or 2 weeks of the year, I think that's when it's gonna really decide who wins this division, whether it be Boston, Baltimore, or Toronto. Because I think I forget who's playing who, but they're like, I think it's Boston, Toronto, or Boston, Baltimore in like the last week of the year.
Yeah, that is going to be the most fun series to watch. Fun division to watch.
If they keep it close, and the Red Sox are only 3 games out, so
the Red Sox, the Red Sox are still kind of like the favorites in a lot of people's minds, even though they're not at the top right now.
I think they're. I mean, unless I don't know. I think them and the Blue Jays are a great team. Orioles, I don't think you can win with that pitching, so I can't put them necessarily there.
Hey, they've done it before, so we'll see what happens going forward.
If they've made it to the playoffs, they've made it to like the second round, but then after that, they haven't.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough for them with their level of pitching. Dylan Bundy, by the way, for the Orioles has been great though, so that is something to keep an eye on. If you're concerned about their pitching, keep an eye on Dylan Bundy for the Orioles. A few other injuries that I'll list off. Danny Salazar for the Indians is out. Sonny Gray for the Oakland A's is out. Very different seasons from both of them. Salazar, great season. Sonny Gray, very, very, very poor season for him.
I still don't think this is like the Sonny Gray.
Oh yeah, he's clearly had a rough year. So,
I mean, he might not be like the ace, but I don't think he's this bad. I think he's a very good pitcher still.
No, yeah, he's still young. He's got time to fix things for himself. So the next couple that I'm going to list are not so young, and that is Ryan Zimmerman and Jordan Zimmerman are both on the DL. Used to be teammates, not anymore, but the Tigers are down another pitcher. Daniel Norris took over in the rotation for him. I really want to see what Daniel Norris can do. He was a top prospect, and he has dealt with a lot in the last 2 years, so we'll see what happens with him there.
To say the least.
Yeah, that's the simplest way of putting it. But Ryan Zimmerman on the DL is probably the best thing that could have happened for the Nationals, to be honest, because that means Daniel Murphy plays first base, and Trey Turner gets to play every day. Hooray! Trey Turner has been fantastic so far. So, I
agree.
By the way, this whole time we've been trying to re-add Rudy back to the call. It has not had much success going on right now. A few more that I'll list off. Michael Wacha is out for the Cardinals. Unfortunate for him, but the Cardinals really are not.
Unless his name was called up, though.
What's his name? Prospect.
They called
Luke Weaver is the guy.
Yeah.
That's going to be starting. Wacha should be back this season, though. Nick Castellanos for the Tigers also out. David Peralta is out for the year now. He had to have some season-ending surgery. Cam Bedrosian for the Angels, who just recently moved into the closer role, is on the DL, so that was poor timing
One
on
of the
his
few
part.
bright spots.
Yep, and that's just how the Angels do. They
You
just
can
show
give
like
up a
that.
run from May till like July.
Yeah, and AJ Ramos also on the DL, so that means Fernando Rodney is now the closer again. Yeah, so those are the major injuries that I just listed off there. Of course, there's more injuries, things of that nature. We are trying to re-add Alex Rudy with very little success, but hopefully if we can get him back on. Is he back? Did we get him?
Hey!
Yay!
Hey!
Just in time for stat game, right?
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. We talked about a lot of stuff.
Leave in the middle of that
I
game.
know. It was a
To be
long
fair,
time.
I think I did most of the talking while you were gone. Yeah.
I'm eating. Sorry.
Oh my god.
I just look quickly. There's anything I had anything really to contribute. What do you guys go through?
Everything.
Toronto,
The
Baltimore,
whole
or
list.
Boston? Who wins the division?
That's a good one.
Boston.
Same.
Really.
I think Baltimore. Wait, what's the current distribution?
Boston's
Yeah,
3 games back. Right
Toronto's up. Toronto's up right now. Half a game on Baltimore and 3 up on Boston.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
But take in mind that within the last 2 weeks of the year, they all play each other. And like the last series of the year, I think is Boston and Toronto.
Okay, well then I think go Boston and then Toronto's gonna make the wild card. I hate Baltimore's pitching. So
We keep counting out the Orioles, and I know that we can't do
Hey,
it just because they
I
have no
invite
pitching.
them to prove me wrong, but I don't think that pitching can
I
beat
invite
a
Dylan
team
Bundy
like
to.
Baltimore or
I-
Toronto.
I invite Dylan Bundy to prove the world wrong and become the Aaron Sanchez of the second half of the season. How about that for a prediction?
I told you I'd invite them to try to prove us wrong, but I don't see that happening.
All right.
No, the last series of the year is Boston Blue Jays.
Yeah. So, other random question: Gary Sanchez, top defensive catcher in the league already. Top 5 catcher next year for you?
why is he a top defensive catcher?
Because he is the top defensive catcher. But is he going to be a top 5 catcher next year for you already, considering how weak the position is?
Usually I would say no. Especially because I followed him for like 4 years.
Did you say yes or
And
no, by
he's
the way? I
been
think you cut out.
Okay, so I would say usually I would say no based on like what I've noticed. Like following him for year. Been following him for like 4 years basically. Ever since the Yankees, he turned out to be a top prospect for the Yankees, and he's honestly been pretty disappointing for a top prospect. He's been really highly touted for all that time, but catching is so weak. And his biggest tool is hitting, and there's so many horrible hitting catchers. I think there is a chance he could be a top 5 catcher.
Mm-hmm. You know who I predict is going to be a top 5 catcher?
I can't guarantee it.
You know who I predict is going to be a top 5 catcher next year? Yasmani Grandal. I think it's his time to break out. And I feel like I say that every single year, but I really just want next year to be the year for him. I mean, if Wilson Ramos can do it, he's top catcher right now, offensively anyway. Yeah, so catching really sucks. That's one thing that we talked about. Any other major things to talk about?
Chris Coughlin's base hit.
Chris Coughlin called time and didn't get it. Tied the game.
That was amazing.
Baseball. A lot of stuff. There's been a lot of really weird, quirky things that have happened.
That's baseball, though.
Yeah, it's been a great year for that. Let's go ahead and jump into stat game if you have that ready for us, and we will finish up the show with that.
It's on Uwe.
Yeah, it's Alex Judy is going to be hosting this stat game, so I go toe to toe with the champion, Farbode. Do you have that ready for us, Judy?
Do I sound okay? Because you guys are really.
You sound fine. I think we just have to go through it. I think it's probably on your end if we sound weird.
Yeah, no, it's definitely my end. So
Okay.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing, I guess, the first stat is welcome to Stat Game, by the way.
We need theme music. We need to create audio drops. I will get on that, I promise.
In this corner, we have Alex Hui, and who has the best first name in existence. And in the name, we have Farbode Morkarzi, who has the second best first name in existence.
Really? I didn't realize we had that lucky of names.
Yeah. So the first question I have for my esteemed.
So you were going to make a
guests-
joke about being the second best PO or something.
Also
Fine.
true, not the best PO. Is who leads the AL in wins?
Is this team or?
No, this is
Pitchers?
player individual player.
J Hap?
Okay,
Yeah.
that was too easy, I guess.
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
No.
J Hap's
Okay.
been great lately.
We'll just ignore that, or you can have the win depending on how
What do you
you
mean
guys feel
ignore
about
that? I won that one fair and square.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it.
Okay. Okay, who? I'm warming up. These are gonna get progressively kind of harder, more obscure.
I see.
Who leads the AL in ERA?
Danny Duffy.
Okay, Jesus.
I'm
sorry
because
if
I saw the game yesterday, and they said that yesterday.
Okay. Who is So it's 2-1 currently.
2-0. What?
2-0.
0.
Who is?
I mean, I'll take it.
What major league player who's eligible has the third lowest OPS in the majors?
Third lowest
Yeah.
Oh.
OPS.
Hmm.
Huh. And it has to be a qualified hitter, right? So you have to have enough at bats to qualify for that. Whew, terrible hitters. That's a tough one to think of. I'm trying to think of catchers, but it's still really hard. Man, who is Russell Martin?
Prince Fielder.
No, neither of those
Neither
are
of those.
correct.
Okay.
Billy Hamilton.
Billy
No.
Hamilton actually has been much better lately, and he's been stealing bases like a madman lately. By the way, I'm finding
Colby
ways to
Rasmus?
bring in relevance. Colby Rasmus was his guess.
Jason Hayward.
Is Alex Rudy even here? Oh, he is. Okay.
Jason Hayward.
We're so concerned about losing you. Oh, Hayward's a good
No.
one. That is a good one though. Man.
Iglesias.
No.
Johnny G. Vitella.
No.
Andrelton Simmons.
Simmons has had a good offensive year.
Oh,
for
has
him.
he? I haven't
No.
paid much attention there.
Um,
Is this person like one that we should know? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you should. The whole point is that it's surprising that he's this low. But I
Okay.
mean, he's a very famous player. Like,
Okay.
and he's a personal favorite of mine. If that
Mark
helps.
Teixeira.
No.
Joe Panic.
Joe Panic is a personal favorite of mine.
Ichiro.
Justin
No.
Upton.
No.
Personal favorite of Alex Rudy.
Wait, he's third lowest, so they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they suck.
In the AL, NL, or
I guess they
MLB.
suck depending on your point of view because they're really good at being really bad. So
Well, I mean,
it's just a
that
matter of
doesn't help much. Really good at being really bad, man.
NL or NL,
That's harsh.
or like the MLB,
Is it the MLB?
or like AL or NL.
It's the NL.
NL. Oh. Curtis Granderson?
No.
No, he is probably is high enough on base to make that balance out.
Freddie Galvis.
Personal favorite of Alex Rudy's Freddie Galvis.
He sucked this year.
Yadi Molina.
No.
McCutcheon.
Oh,
No.
I thought for sure he got it with McCutcheon right there. Man, he's doing
Phillips?
really bad. Brandon Phillips has not had a terrible year, has he?
Just had a pretty bad year. Josh Harrison.
No.
This is a tough one. We're giving
Who
it.
has-
We're giving it our all right now.
I feel like it's really easy. I hope I didn't I hope one of you didn't say it and I just ignored it on accident.
You feel like it's easy? Oh man,
I think it's really easy.
shoot.
I bet I've said
That
it.
makes me feel worse about this. Adrian Gonzalez. I don't know.
No.
Jock Peterson.
No.
Man.
Addison Russell?
Yeah.
No, he's having a okay year. Never mind.
Personal favorites. What? I'm trying to figure out what that means. It's a tough one. Eric Ibar?
No.
That's one of my personal
Is he
favorites.
the lowest?
No.
No, wait, can I just pause you guys for 1 second? I just need to quickly tell my mom something, and then, but you guys aren't even getting it, so you can think about
We'll
it.
keep the thinking caps going. We're probably gonna need, let's say 2 more guesses each. That fair, Forebode?
Sure.
Alright. So, get your best guesses in order.
Can I guess someone already said?
You can. I don't advise doing that, but I'm not.
But like,
I'm not
this
gonna,
guy's
I'm not gonna keep you from doing it.
stuck this year. Is it? So it's OPS, right?
Yeah. So
Okay, good.
yeah, that's something. Oh, I have a question for him when he comes back though.
Oh.
I can't believe he ditched
See,
us. Can you
see
believe
if he
ditched
gives us. Yeah, I do. I can believe that.
He ditched us for the whole show, so
See if he can get us another hint,
I'm gonna ask him a question when he comes back.
because we need another hint for the last two.
Yeah, seriously, we need.
Guesses.
This is not ideal. He turned it on right away. The first 2 I got, like, right from the get go, and then this one, not so much.
You snapped, dude. I knew those, but then you said them right away.
Yeah, because I was on top of it. Those weren't really hard stats. Those were both like.
No, J Hap and what's the name? Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it,
You
Rudy.
can't-
Damn it.
You can only ask leaders in every category because we typically know the leaders.
Yeah.
Even if they're surprising.
You typically can't just walk away from the podcast too while you're hosting a game. So, but apparently that doesn't matter.
Rudy, what the hell?
This is gonna be the Rudy roast. He's not even gonna know it. He doesn't listen back to this podcast.
I'm here. You guys, I just put myself on mute. I've heard everything you guys said.
No, you didn't hear us. Don't worry.
So,
Oh man.
you guys, should I just tell you guys?
No, wait. Is this person still playing this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not Gomez or Buxton or Puig.
No.
Sorry, wait, I cut
I think
out.
that's a reasonable question.
I cut out. Say the question again.
This is really sad.
The person
I
is
feel
still playing right now.
I'm beginning to suspect that you guys said it and I just didn't hear you or something.
No, because I just really cannot think of it. What? Give us the division. We need to accelerate this.
It's Central.
The Central Division. Okay. Shoot. Farbo did say McCutcheon. Was that not it?
No.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Man. Thinking of Reds players, I think Farbo dropped out. So this should make it easier for me. I have no idea, dude. You gotta tell me. Or let's.
Jason Hayward.
He did say Jason Hayward. Farbo wins that one.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Not going so well so far.
My bad.
And especially because I can't even add him back to the call. This has not been a very smooth podcast.
It's been entertaining though.
Hopefully. That's always the goal. I guess now can be the Farbo roast since he's not here.
Correct.
I mean, you technically, even though you could hear us, you technically weren't there. So, it was fair game. No hard feelings, right?
No, not at all.
What the heck? Damn it. Should we give up on this stat game?
Yeah, bro just asked to add him back in, so I think it should be fine.
Well, I've been trying to do that constantly, so that's quite a ding.
He asked if it was Matt Holiday.
That's quite a ding.
Should we tell him that you won? Tell him that
Nah, don't tell him that he won. He doesn't deserve to know. His internet's not good enough for him to know. God damn it. Farbode, come on.
This is a good podcast.
thought you silenced your phone.
This is my computer.
I'm back.
Oh, it is.
Like-
You're back.
It's like-
You won.
So
It was Jason.
okay.
It was Jason Hayward.
All right.
You said that ages ago.
Yeah.
It was made it more entertaining though to make you guys keep guessing when you said the right answer. So
So it's 2-1.
And to leave us in silence for 2
okay,
minutes after that.
who leads the major leagues in losses?
Chris
Team.
Archer. Chris Archer.
Yeah.
These are too easy, I guess.
Yeah, they are.
I thought that was a very surprising stat.
No.
No, he's stuck.
No, because I saw recently that Chris Archer could be the first person in a long time to lead in strikeouts and losses since Nolan Ryan did it.
Okay, what team leads the major leagues in blown saves?
What team or player?
Yeah.
Shit.
What team?
The
The Angels.
the Phillies.
No.
Those are probably the 2 most depressing teams that I can think of.
True.
The
The
White Sox.
Rangers.
Yeah, those are the White Sox.
Yeah, because I know David Robertson's sucking ass this year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for both being absolutely crushed 4-1.
Yeah.
There's you can make a comeback here, okay? Let's go. Which team is last in the majors in pinch hitting batting average?
The
What
Mets.
No, last.
Why does that make it like?
What?
Why does that make my guess like? You said I just guessed the Mets, and you're like, no, they're last.
No, I thought you said first. That's what it sounded like.
Is it the
First.
Mets?
The Braves.
No,
The Phillies.
no,
The Royals.
no,
The
Why would
White
it be an
Sox.
American League team.
no,
Just saying. The Marlins.
no,
The
Giants.
Brewers.
no,
The Giants.
The Pirates.
no to both.
The Dodgers.
No,
The Reds.
no,
The
The Diamondbacks.
no,
the Cubs.
no,
The Rockies.
no,
The
Cardinals.
the
no.
Cardinals is like the best. I know that.
I was about to say the Nationals, but I saw. I was thinking Washington. I was about to say the Wizards accidentally. Nationals.
No.
Is it an American League team? Did we say all the National League teams already?
Yeah, I think we did. The Yankees.
No.
Wait,
The eight.
was that a yes or no to that?
What, yes or no to what?
Is it National League or no? Did we go through all of them?
Well, yeah.
It's in the National League?
The
It's
Indians.
American League.
Oh my god, I
The-
can't do it anymore.
The Indians.
No.
They're-
Yeah.
No, yes.
Yeah.
He's making the comeback.
Indians. Okay.
God.
So it's 4-2. Which NL team leads the not which NL team? Which team leads the major leagues in shutouts?
The Cubs. No.
The Dodgers?
I knew the Phillies.
Yeah, the Phillies.
Oh, damn.
I knew this.
I would have guessed
What
that the Dodgers, just Kershaw just did all of them.
Catch up. Okay.
Playing catch up.
Do you have an eighth one just in case I tie it?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
did it.
Wait, isn't this the 8th one? It's 4-3.
No, this is for. Yeah. Do you have a seventh? The ninth and ninth.
Just in case.
Okay.
You have to win this though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so which MLB rookie is last in the majors in OPS?
Buxton.
No.
Alex Bregman.
Yes.
Aha!
Well,
I did it.
you chose his best friend.
I just chose someone to make Alex sad.
No, it's fine. I know. I have confidence that Bregman will be a good player. I have confidence. I also have confidence that Kepler will be a good player, and I'm really bitter about that. So
Buxton is fourth to last in. So yeah. How about him? Do you still have confidence in him?
I will maintain my happy-go-lucky attitude towards prospects and say yes.
1 home run and 200 at bats this year.
Whatever.
5-6 OPS.
I will stay happy-go-lucky and optimistic and all those things, and I will also thank everybody for joining us on this very drawn-out and technically difficulty-ridden podcast. Thank you all for joining us. Please leave us any feedback that you have. You can tell us how terrible our production is. You can tweet us at WPB_podcast, or you can email us at warandpeacebaseball@gmail.com. We have a website as well. We have various articles and podcasts there, so you can check that out. That is in the description. And feel free to leave comments and reply in any way that you can. It is very much appreciated. Thank you again for watching. As always, Farbode.